Hey Warhammer fans, got a 2,500 point Vampire versus Empire battle report here for you. I wanted to point out in this picture my wife just painted up this Hurricanum for my buddy that I'm playing as his birthday present. She's painted up the Steam Tank and the Hurricanum now, so he actually has two pieces of painted units in his entire Empire army, but it looks pretty nice in the battlefield. So we get the Dawn Attack scenario. This is the one where you got to roll, and it determines your deployment somewhat. And this is how I ended up. It wasn't too bad. I got 3 Vargeists and a Varghulf here, and 2 Bat Swarms on the left flank. Going to give Bat Swarms a try. I'm proxying them, so when you see tree men running around, that's what it is. Or treekin, whatever wood elfy name they are. Then I got a group of zombies, and I actually have no vampires this time. I wanted to try Kemmler and Krell. I mean, they look great. They've got great synergy together. Kemmler's just a beast. Krell's just a beast. Kemmler can raise Graveguard with his sword, and he buffs Krell when they're in the same unit. So I said, what the hell? Let's throw a big horde together and try it. So that's what I'm going for here. Got a corpse cart next to them so that when I'm getting off my vampire spells from Kemmler, since he's a lore master, I can get always strike first off on those Graveguard. That's what I'm hoping. Got a zombie bunker here with a Necro in it and some dire wolves in front of them. Got a big bus of skeletons, 50 skeletons. Got a Cairn Wraith in there with them. They have the Screaming Banner. Then another group of dire wolves. 3 more Vargeists over here. And a group of zombies. My Empire opponent has 3 Chocobo Knights, a Great Cannon. He brought a Steam Tank, 5 Pistoliers. He has his Lord Wizard in a group of archers in the back, little bunker there. And he's got 15 knights. Basically, they're Inner Circle knights, but he has a BSB in there. He's got a Warrior Priest in there, and he's got a Lord. He also has a big block of Halberdiers you can see there. They have a Warrior Priest with them. And he has a Hellblaster and an Engineer next to him. He also paid for a Hurricanum, but sadly left it on the shelf. Forgot all about it for a little bit here, so it'll show up later. This is what the board looks like before we're getting started. The only terrain that really matters is that forest in the middle. It's a stupidity forest. This is what Vanguard movement is like. I'm going to use my dogs to come up and screen and try to set up some favorable charges here. And he's going to try to shoot who he can with his Pistoliers. So the zombies first off declare charge on Pistoliers, and they elected to hold. They were expecting more people more groups to charge them, so they decided not to flee, and they decided to hold their stand and shoot. I decided that was enough. Ended up failing the charge, but everyone else just moved up. The Vargeists are moving along the side there so they can try to go harass that cannon, and the Varghulf, he hides behind that terrain there so the cannon can't shoot him. Over here, everyone just moves up. I will move my dogs to set up some favorable charges like I was talking about here, so those knights can't come swinging in. At least as easy. The Vargeists move behind the building over here so that it next turn can get around and harass the Hellblaster. During Magic, it's 4 dice to 3, and I cast Gaze of Nagash on the Pistoliers, but it gets dispelled. So it's Empire turn 1 now. The Chocobos charge the Vargeists. I wasn't really sure how this was going to go. I haven't had the most experience with either units, so we'll see what happens there. And an unexpected turn of events, at least for me, the corner column of these guys can actually see the Vargeists. I didn't expect that. I didn't think they could. I thought it was safe. So they ended up making a charge, and they're in my flank. Not happy about that. Over here, the Pistoliers move up so they can shoot within half range, not take penalties on the Varghulf. And the Steam Tank generates his 3 points, and then he moves up. During Magic, it's 9 dice to 5. He casts Enfeebling Foe on the Vargeists, the ones that are in combat with the Chocobo Knights, and I was able to dispel it. He fails to cast a second spell, which shuts down his Lord for the rest of the Magic phase, and he throws his other dice at the Warrior Priest's bound spells that you can see, the ones that are in the shot here. He gets off the 5+ ward 1, but I was able to dispel the reroll to wounds 1. During the shooting phase, his archers take aim and kill one of my dogs, and then the Hellblaster Volley Gun blows the rest away, which I feel happy at. It's the only target it actually can hit, but I'm fine if it's blowing up dogs and not important stuff. Over here, the cannon puts 2 wounds on the corpse card, which I always feel happy when the cannon doesn't blow something up totally on the first turn. So it can weather that wound, or set of wounds rather. The Steam Tank misfires on the bounce to the Varghulf and can't correct that, so the Varghulf is saved from the Steam Tank's cannon. The Pistoliers put 1 wound on the Vargulf, though, and then in close combat, I rolled really poorly. He made all his armor saves, and basically I just got killed and crumbled. The last guy remaining just crumbled, so they poofed, and then these guys overran. Left side of the board looks, or the right side of the board over here looks fairly similar. I think I maybe killed 1. He rolled pretty well, and I just, between combat resolution and just getting punched in by a horde of halberdiers, crumbled. So this is what the left side looks like at the end of the turn, and here's what the right side looks like. Vampire turn 2. I charge the Pistoliers with my zombies first, and they elect to flee, which is great. That was what I was hoping for. So they flee, and then I decide I declare a charge with the bat swarms as well. They're still in range, and that pushes them again. And I got lucky that they only went far enough, and they're basically still within range of the Vargulf, who declares a charge and pushes them off the board, which is exactly what I wanted. That's fantastic. And then actually he goes right through the war machine, the cannon up there. I thought I was going to panic him off the board, but apparently it just means that they can't shoot during the Empire player's next turn. But I'll take that. That was pretty much free. So then everyone moves up. There are a bunch of failed charges. No one really to leadership into, at least that I cared to. Yeah, there was no other targets anyway, so everyone just moves like you see here. Over here, I charged the zombies into the halberdiers, which is a terrible mistake. I don't know why I did that. I guess I thought I was tar pitting them up, but there's not enough zombies to hold. There's a lot of halberdiers. I didn't even need to charge them. I should have just moved up a little bit. Everyone else moves up like you see. I'm going to channel my force here toward those knights and that lord, and then just try to go quick, basically. Now, I have exposed that left flank of the Graveguard there to the steam tank. And I've got a plan for that, but I mean, it is a danger at this point. So we go into magic phase, and it's 11 dice to 6, which is awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. So I throw out my first spell, Curse of Years, on the knights. I know he's going to be afraid of that. I would be if I was in his shoes. And then he throws 5 of his 6 Dispel dice at it, which is exactly what I wanted. So now I'm sitting at a pretty good lead. I cast Raise Dead right in front of the steam tank there. So the steam tank's great because it can pivot and then move. Whatever it hits, it charges, basically. And so that means it doesn't really have front arcs that you can get out of. It's always a danger, but it also can't overrun, which means if you can get stuff in front of them, you can predict where it's going to go. So that was my plan here, and it worked out pretty well for me. Then I tried to cast the Area of Effect Van Hells with my remaining dice, and that was going to move my entire line up, and he threw the Dispel Scroll at it, which is fantastic. It wasn't... I always want to draw that thing out as early as I can, and this wasn't critical or crucial for me by any means. I wasn't about to get into combat. It was just going to be nice. So, yeah, I call that a win. And over here, this is where all the zombies died, and I don't know what I was thinking. And we go to Empire turn 2. This is where he forgot his Hurricanum, or remembered it, rather, and it comes on as reinforcements. His knights move sideways, and his archer bunker moves sideways as well. He's going to start turtling here. I didn't really expect that, but that's what he's doing. Steam Tank generates his 3 points and charges the zombies. And he forgets about his Chocobo Knights for a turn, and I also forgot. So it's magic, and it's 7 dice to 6. He casts a Withering on my Graveguard, and I throw my Dispel Scroll at it. I had thought at the time that the Withering was going to reduce their toughness, and I figured I'd be getting shot by that Hellblaster. Wrong on both accounts. I'm too far away from the Hellblaster. He still has a cannon and steam tank and all that wonderful stuff, but the Withering, it debuffs strength. So I threw my Dispel Scroll in error, but that's what I ended up doing, which left me a whole bunch of dice left. His Warrior Priest tried for the Ward Save, which I dispelled. In shooting, the Hellblaster blows up the other group of dogs really, really well. Tons of wounds, as it always does. And then in close combat off the screen, the steam tank kills all those summoned zombies, as you would expect. On my turn, turn 3, my zombies, I turn them around here basically so that they've covered as much of that arc as I can. So the Chocobo Knights are going to either get hopefully tar pitted up by those guys, or they're going to have to turn around. Over here, I move people around like you can see. I push in on him, right, just kind of bottle him up in that corner as much as I can. I want to get those Graveguard into combat. I pull the white out of the, not the white, I pull the Cairn Wraith out of the skeleton group, and he's going around the stupid forest. He's not going to get stuck in it, and I'm going to try to send him right up to mess with that Hellblaster. Everyone else just moves up. You can see where the Vargulf ended up. He's in danger. He could be getting hit here from the steam tank, but that's how I moved it, and I was going to deal with it in the magic phase. During magic, it's 7 dice to 5, and I wasn't really sure what I was thinking at the time. If this was good or bad, I'm not quite sure, but I cast Raise Dead again, and I put him right in front of the knights, so he can't charge me, and I was kind of worried about how far ahead my guys were getting from that corpse cart and everything. It might have been better putting them off by the steam tank. I just didn't. I don't know if I forgot. I really wasn't sure what I was thinking there. So that's where they ended up. The Hellish Vigor goes off on the Graveguard, and so I get them there in case they do find a way in. They're going to be re-rolling, at least on their turn, re-rolling wounds, getting killing blows again. That's what I was hoping for. And then I try for Van Hells on the Vargulf to get it out of the way, but it gets dispelled. So at least I had a plan to get him out, but I think I just kind of got distracted by those knights, and after summoning them, threw that down there. So we go to Empire turn 3, and like you'd expect, I left that Juicy wide open, and the steam tank hits the Vargulf. Over here, the Chocobos move up, just up to the zombies. Guess it's just a close-up here. He ends up moving back with his knights and moves his archers up, though. So he's going to throw his archers away and try to set up a little bit of a wall, kind of like I was doing. And then he moves his caster out of that group and has him sitting in the back there. During magic, he gets Irresistible Force on Enfeebling Foe on the Graveguard, lowering him by 3 strength. And then the mage blows up, takes a wound, and gets sucked into the warp, which is awesome. So he's got a bunch of dice left. Nothing you can really do with them besides Warrior Priest. They put their 5+ ward on the Halberdiers, and then I dispelled the re-roll wounds one. Here's just a picture of Enfeebling Foe landing. And expectedly, the steam tank kills the Vargulf from impact hits. The Hellblaster gets 16 shots and kills like all but 4 zombies. You can see right up there in the upper right, which is great because they're still there. I'm very happy about that. And the cannon shoots down the line of the Graveguard, ends up killing 7 of them. Over here, on my turn 4, the zombies move right up into the grill of the Chocobo Knights. And I learned my lesson, no need to charge on my turn. I move the Bat Swarms right here around the steam tank, just to block them. So at least I've got another wall he can't get through right away. I charge the Graveguard into the archers because I got to get rid of them. They do a stand and shoot. I don't know if they killed anyone. Didn't really matter. And everyone else just kind of moves up. I think the zombies end up moving up and they're just not shown in this picture. I can't quite remember. The skeletons fail their stupidity roll. And we go to magic. It's 11 dice versus 6. I cast Curse of Years on the knights, and I end up killing a couple knights. I think I killed 2 knights and put a couple wounds out on the characters. I end up getting Van Hell's Area of Effect off, which allows me in combat to re-roll for the Graveguard, and then everyone else just moves up through the forest. In fact, that was my way to get my skeletons moving through the forest when they were stupid, was just to cast a spell. And then Invocation of Heck, I was able to get back 10 Graveguard, and that triggered, since it was Area Effect, triggered Always Strike First from the Corpse card. So I was feeling pretty good. With the exception of being enfeebled, those Graveguard were going to hit like bigger trucks. They're already trucks, but they're going to hit even harder. Oh yeah, I guess it's shown in this picture. I ended up not killing them completely because I was enfeebled. However, this is where we realized later that there was a mistake. The wizard was dead, and so the Remains in Play spell would be gone. But we forgot about it, so I probably at this point, I don't know, I missed a lot of wounds because I was only Strength 3 instead of Strength 6. Had I got those wounds, I probably could have just wiped them out and reformed. Instead, I tried to chase them, and I only rolled 2 for the chase distance, and they got away. So, sadly, we made a mistake here, which it might have had kind of a decent impact on the game, but who knows? This is where we are. I think it's actually Empire 3? Maybe it's... I don't know if that's right or not. It could be Empire 4. Whatever, it's the Empire's turn. The archers rally immediately, and then block me on their reform from the flank of the knights, which suck, because the way it's facing now, I think I've got a better picture coming up, but I'm going to have to face away from them to charge and get those guys out of there. So that sucks. The knights go into the zombies, the few that are remaining. The halberdiers move into the skeletons through the woods, and so we're going to have a long, drawn-out slugfest there. And the Hurricane moves up to buff the nearby units. So you can see here, with the way they're facing, I'm in their front, so I have to turn away from the knights. He uses all his dice during the magic phase to, he has no real caster, but he dispels Curse of Years at army strength, so it takes him all his dice, and I dispel the Withering, which, again, should have already been gone. He goes into the zombies with his Chocobo Knights. The steam tank impacts, the impact hits alone kill the bats, and so, that's expected. Over here, the zombies end up holding. They don't really hold because they're not going to break, but they don't crumble all the way. So I feel pretty good about that. Hold them up for another turn. The knights here kill the zombies. There are only 4 of them, and they overrun to the corpse cart. And this kind of sucks. I had thought from looking at my angle that they were going to hit my ethereal guy there, my Cairn Wraith. But when we measured it out, it was like a 1/4 of an inch more that they were going to come into contact with the corpse cart first. So it's straight line to determine who you hit, but then once you're going to make a hit on them, then you kind of back up and you do a maximized normal charge. So not going to get any impact hits from that chariot. Since the corpse cart's a chariot, it's just going to kind of suck and die here. I think that's all I have to show on this page. Let me check my notes here really quick. Over here, the bunch of skeletons I lose combat by 7, but I got 1,000 of them, so I'm fine. I charge the wraiths into the knight here on my turn, which is really stupid. I guess for some reason, even though I knew what items he had on him, I kind of forgot that he had a magic sword. I'm like, oh look, I'm a wraith, I'm totally invulnerable, and I'm just going to do my no armor save attack on the wraith, which I was very excited about because that guy is a 1-up rerollable, and totally forgetting the fact that he's going to go first and he has a magic weapon and he's going to destroy him. But that's sadly exactly what happened. I charged I don't know if that was up here. Yeah, you can see it here. I charged a Graveguard into the archers up there. I've just got to deal with them and hopefully reform. During Magic, it's 2 dice to 2, but I'm a +4 and he's at Army Dispel. So I end up casting Raise Dead near the steam tank again, and he wasn't able to dispel it. So tie it up 1 more turn. I kill the archers and reform. The Chocobo Knights, they kill the remaining zombies in the lower left of the screen. And I win combat with the skeletons, but they stick because the VSB is nearby. They fail their first roll, but they make it on the second. Empire, it says turn 3. This is definitely turn 5. I guess it wasn't updating that. This was brilliant on his part and a mistake on mine. So what he did on his turn, instead of charging the zombie wall that I keep making, he generated the steam points, got the steam tank the hell out of there, and then charged right through the gap into the zombies. And then he's going to blow those guys away and then get way out of my charge arc. So his super destroyer unit, we were going back and forth in this one. I was taunting him, come on, let's fight. We've each got our big groups. Let's fight, let's fight. And he's like, no. Those Graveguard are going to eat my lunch. So he kept backing up and then got a perfect, we were just laughing here how sweet it was just to go right through and use my own little trick against me. So that's what he does. He ends up blowing those zombies away and flying right through. During Magic, it's 12 dice to 6, but again, he only has Warrior Priest. He throws 6 dice at the Warrior Priest on the Halberdier group to give them the ward save. Oh no, it's the reroll wounds. He gets that, and then he throws his other 6 dice at the Knights, and I was able to dispel that one. This is my last turn, Vampire turn 6, and he's taken more of my groups away. I've only taken a few of his things away, so I'm like, I've got to get some points. The only thing I can really do to get points here is try to charge the Graveguard into the Halberdiers. They don't make it. There was no point to charge the zombies in and just give him more CR. So sadly, they didn't make it. Magic is 12 dice to 6, but I don't have a lot here that can get me the win. but I try to bolster my units here so that he can't kill all the skeletons and get the points for them. And my Kemmler fails to cast. I threw like 4 or 5 dice, rolled really poorly. He failed to cast Invocation of Heck. But don't worry, because I've got another Necromancer right there. He fails to cast as well. And so I basically sit on a bunch of dice, can't do anything with. And my skeletons get wiped out in close combat, the few that were left. And it was really bad rolling on my part. I mean, I say that a lot, but it was really going bad for me. And those guys, nothing to sneeze at, all hoarded up there. They get their hatred in the first round. The Warrior Priest is giving them all little buffs. So he got the points for those. Here, Empire turn 6. The counter's actually right this time. The Halberdiers go into the side of the zombies. I couldn't really do much about it. The Chocobos over here, they go into the zombies. And this is where we called it. Clearly, I wasn't going to be able to get any more points. He was going to blow both those groups away, give it enough time. But it was, the end of his turn. We didn't end up rolling it because the points were already pretty much set the way they were. And so this is what it ended up looking like once he moved the Hurricanum up. So it was a really fun game. It felt like neither me or my buddy have gone to any tournaments, and that's something we want to start doing. But all the battle reports that we watch from really good players like Once Bitten, stuff like that, you see a lot of movement and points denial. It's not just everyone running at each other and attack and kill, and whoever's standing at the end of the combat wins. This felt more like that, like we were playing a smart game, trying to do points denial, trying to put stuff in the way. You can see he didn't even engage with his knights. It was just he didn't think he was going to win, so it was just try to save the points. And it was kind of fun. We always think that's more like tournament play. So hopefully we'll get a few more games like this under our belts and give tournament play a try. Otherwise, it was fun. It was nice to play the vampires again. I've been kind of focusing on the Bretonnia in painting a little bit lately. And I actually went over to the dark side and picked up the Dark Vengeance starter set. I should probably say my wife bought it for me because I was being such a super stellar husband, she said. But so I started assembling and learning to play 40K, and it's bizarrely different, so I feel very lost. But that was taking a bit of my time. Fantasy's still my love, but at least I'll have a starter set of 40K I can play with. So that's it. Thanks a lot.